Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to War Thunder with yours truly, WeBe. Now this time it's going to be my top 10 beginner tips for new players to the game. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So coming in here at number 10 is something not many people would actually think is useful, but for me is probably one of my most important assets available to me in-game. If you, like me, have a gaming mouse with bindable buttons on the side, such as the Razer Death Adder for example, you can change the controls in-game to bind your pitch up and pitch down to them. This is useful for a number of reasons, as well as it being a lot easier to be able to press instead of page up and pitch down, or depending on your control setup, control and shift, it can also be extremely effective and handy in combat situations. Having pitch up and pitch down binded to your mouse enables you to perform a loop or a turn easier without actually physically moving your cursor, as well as the fact of generally making the turn tighter. Here is a small example. I am using the Fury Mark 1 Reserve Tier biplane to show how binding buttons could be useful in a combat situation. Below us is a truck that we have to destroy. As you see, we go into a shallow dive to get the plane on target. Unfortunately, I missed my first run, so have to maneuver the plane to be on target once again. As my cursor remains on target, I use my binded pitch up to perform a series of loops to get my plane back aiming at the target to destroy it. Then once destroyed, quickly zoom away again. Coming in at number 9 is something that is useful to players new and old. Here we are in an arcade match on Western Europe. The aircraft I am using is the Supermarine Spitfire Mark 1A. It is a great tier 2 aircraft and teaches you many useful things about monoplane combat. There is a great technique you can use to get advantage over your opponent, easy in all types of games, whether that be arcade, realistic or simulator. Here I am climbing above enemies at an 18-degree angle, therefore gaining height. One of the most important things to learn while starting out in War Thunder is the use of energy fighting tactics. Energy fighting consists of a player using their plane speed and height to their advantage, as shown in the following footage. I am climbing above my opponents, then rolling to dive on them. Once I have engaged, I pull off and put that remaining speed I gained in the dive to get altitude once again. It is a very easy rinse and repeat tactic. Of course, one of the main advantages of energy fighting is that while in the dive, you've gained enough speed to be able to climb out. That often means that the enemy can't then re-engage you once you've engaged them, so you kind of choose the battle on your own terms. Here you see me often diving and weaving in and out of other aircraft. This is because the enemy aircraft that I do engage, once they turn around, have no time to be able to engage me. So I dive, I shoot, then I climb. One of the most common mistakes I see new players doing in matches is holding down the fire button. This may shoot the target, but it is a very ineffective way of doing so, as well as wasting ammunition, which is extremely important in realistic battles. You also overheat your weapons and often have to wait for them to be reloaded before firing again. The easiest way to combat this is by firing short bursts of ammunition. This makes the guns less likely to overheat whilst conserving rounds and being more accurate. It also decreases chances of you accidentally killing an ally in the process, and is generally more efficient. The next most important tip in this list is spatial awareness. One too many times have I seen new players ramming each other flying after one aircraft, or accidentally clipping a tree with their wing. Always keep an eye on where other players are around you as well as your enemy. This proves vital in your survival in the skies above the battlefield. An example is being shown. I'm keeping an eye on where my enemies are as well as my teammates, avoiding crashing in tight situations. Coming in at number 6, we have battle ratings and tiering. In War Thunder, there are 5 tiers, ranging all the way from biplanes to jets. Although the main confusion for new players is the battle rating system. Battle rating system is basically the game's version of the matchmaker. So, reserve aircraft generally have a battle rating of 1.0, whereas something like the Gladiator, which is also a biplane, has a battle rating of 1.3. The main reason for this is because the Gladiator is a better aircraft. It has a higher top speed, and it has more armament. Same goes for the Hawker Hurricane Mark I. Although it is in Tier 1 with the Gladiator and the Fury, it has a higher battle rating of 2.0, mainly because it is faster and it carries more weaponry. But when we compare something like the Hurricane Mark IIB to the Hurricane Mark I, the Hurricane Mark IIB has a higher battle rating. Again, main reason for this is because it is a generally better aircraft, boasting more machine gun rounds and a higher top speed. At number 5 is something many players fail to remember. Crew skills are an important part of War Thunder as it increases your pilot's ability to perform better in combat. Crew skills are earned by shooting and destroying aircraft or ground units. They can be used to upgrade your pilot's abilities and skills. For example, I have upgraded my crew a lot on this Spitfire so the pilot can handle almost anything thrown at him. Each skill has its own advantage, although my personal recommendation to get started are pilot vitality, GeForce, and weapon maintenance as well as reload speed, as these are the most important at all tiers. Coming in at number 4 is War Thunder Ground Forces. Now the reason why War Thunder Ground Forces is on number 4 of this list is because a lot of new players don't really realise that there is a ground forces aspect to the game. They assume that it is a flight simulator and that they like to just play planes. Sometimes planes can be a bit, repetitive after a while. So if you're new to the game, if you're not aware of it, there is a ground forces game mode in-game. I do highly suggest that you actually give it a go if you haven't already. It is a lot of fun when it wants to be. Especially with your friends, if you go in a squad in a tank battle, it can be a hell of a lot of fun. So I do highly suggest that you try it out. To access ground forces, all you need to do is select one of the following nations: Russia, Germany, or US. Under the Research tab, you have the option for Aviation or Ground Forces. Select Ground Forces to get started. Here at number 3 is one of the most important decisions you'll have to make in War Thunder. Which nation do you fly first? Picking a starting nation in War Thunder is an important process and shouldn't be ignored. Each of the countries features different advantages and disadvantages to their aircraft. The Royal Air Force fighters are generally made for dogfighting, being excellent at dogfighting and turning maneuvers. The Luftwaffe use boom and zoom tactics to climb high above their enemy, dive, engage, and then fly away again. The USSR are great for low tier grinding, as well as some very nice high tier prop aircraft, and of course with the added bonus of the legendary MiG-15 as their end game fighter aircraft. The United States Air Force are a bit of everything. They have a mix of plane types and styles, but the main theme, like the Germans, is boom and zoom tactics. They also have their infamous bomber aircraft such as the B-17 and the B-24. Japan are more sorted for turn fighting roles, much like the British. They are light, agile, and very manoeuvrable. They have decent armament, but have very thin armour, so avoid being shot at. Whichever nation you choose to start with, you will receive a 3 Tier 1 premium aircraft of the chosen nation. Coming in at number 2 is the different types of game mode available to you in War Thunder. Many new players to the game are not aware of the different game modes available to them, as they normally play aircraft arcade battles. In fact, there are many available. For example, Aircraft Arcade, Aircraft Realistic, Aircraft Simulator Battles, as well as the addition of Tank Simulator Battles, Tank Realistic Battles, and Tank Arcade Battles. They also include custom battles and events. There's also an option to change the type of server you would like to be on to make your connection better. And finally here, at number 1 spot on this list is one that is very, very, very important. Play fairly. Now you might not expect that to be much of an issue. You know, you go in there, you shoot down some planes, stuff like that. But what I mean by play fairly is basically don't be a douchebag. Let me elaborate. If somebody accidentally team kills you, there is no need to go all aggressive and start calling them names, because it will probably end up on you being reported and the one getting the effect for it. If there is a major issue, contact some sort of a moderator on the forums, or file a report in-game. I would suggest staying away from use of foul language, as that can also get you in trouble with the forum moderators. Anyway, that sums up our top 10 list for beginners in War Thunder. I hope that helped you guys out a little bit. If it did, make sure you click that like button below. Subscribe if you're new around here for some more War Thunder content. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time.